Look at this Chrysler dealership. Just 3 years ago, it was packed with customers. Today, empty parking lot, overgrown landscaping, and salespeople so desperate they practically tackle you before you can exit your car. Their profit has collapsed 80% in the last decade, a financial bloodbath that would have been unthinkable when they were part of America's Big Three. But Chrysler isn't even the worst case on our list. One Japanese brand has been reduced to just 2 models after decades of mismanagement. Another luxury manufacturer sold fewer vehicles in all of 2024 than Tesla sells in a single week. And the most shocking case, a brand whose parent company is actively discussing pulling it from the US market entirely within the next 12 months. I've spent the last month analyzing dealer inventory data, interviewing industry insiders, and visiting struggling dealerships across the country. What I discovered will make you think twice about which brands you consider for your next vehicle purchase. When a car brand collapses, it doesn't just disappear overnight. It dies a slow, painful death that can leave owners stranded with worthless vehicles, voided warranties, and parts that become impossible to find. Remember Saab? Owners were left with cars they couldn't service when dealers closed. Suzuki resale values plummeted 40% in just 6 months after they exited the US market. Pontiac, Mercury, Saturn, all gone, leaving millions of owners with rapidly depreciating assets and service headaches. The brands I'm about to reveal are showing the exact same warning signs that preceded every major automotive collapse of the past 2 decades. While the timeline varies for each, industry insiders believe none will exist in their current form 5 years from now. What makes this situation particularly dangerous is that many of these companies are offering seemingly amazing deals to move inventory. But those short-term savings can cost you tens of thousands in the long run when warranty coverage evaporates and resale values collapse. One dealer I spoke with, who asked to remain anonymous, admitted they're selling certain models at $8,000 below cost just to hit manufacturer targets, knowing full well their brand might not exist in North America by 2027. The automotive industry is facing a perfect storm of challenges. Skyrocketing development costs for electric vehicles, rising interest rates crushing luxury sales, new tariffs hammering imported brands, a fundamental shift in consumer preferences that has left some manufacturers completely unprepared. Let's start by examining the warning signs that a car brand is in serious trouble, the same red flags that preceded every major automotive collapse of the past 2 decades. 1. Mitsubishi, the walking dead. Mitsubishi was once synonymous with innovation and performance, giving us legends like the Evolution and Eclipse. Today, it's a zombie brand walking among the living with less than 1% market share in the United States. The numbers tell a devastating story. Mitsubishi sold just 87,000 vehicles in the US last year, fewer than what Toyota sells in a single week. Their dealer network has shrunk from over 350 locations to just 211 in the past decade, and many of those remaining dealers are barely hanging on. The Outlander is Mitsubishi's lone bright spot, but one moderately successful model cannot sustain an entire brand. Their other offerings, the Eclipse Cross, Mirage, and Outlander Sport, are all aging designs that fail to compete with rivals from Hyundai, Kia, and Honda. What's most telling is Mitsubishi's lack of investment in future products. While competitors announce ambitious EV plans, Mitsubishi's electrification strategy consists of a single plug-in hybrid variant of the Outlander. This isn't a strategy, it's surrender. Industry insiders believe Mitsubishi is likely to follow Suzuki's path, a gradual withdrawal from the North American market while focusing on stronger regions like Southeast Asia. For current owners, this means diminishing support, parts availability challenges, and plummeting resale values in the coming years. 2. Chrysler, an American icon, reduced to a nameplate. Perhaps the most shocking entry on our list is Chrysler, once one of America's Big Three automakers, now reduced to just 2 models and seemingly abandoned by its parent company, Stellantis. The brand that gave us the minivan, the 300 sedan, and countless American classics now sells only the Pacifica minivan and the 300 sedan, the latter of which is on its deathbed after 18 years with only minor updates. The 300 is scheduled to end production this year with no replacement announced. This leaves Chrysler as essentially a one-model brand, a situation that is simply unsustainable in today's competitive market. While Stellantis invests heavily in Jeep, Ram, and even Dodge's electric future, Chrysler has received virtually no significant development resources. The numbers are grim. Chrysler sold just 112,000 vehicles last year, down 44% from its peak just 5 years ago. Its dealer network exists almost entirely as add-ons to Jeep and Dodge showrooms, with standalone Chrysler dealers virtually extinct. Industry analysts believe Stellantis is likely to either fold Chrysler entirely or reduce it to a nameplate used occasionally for specific models under another brand. Either way, the Chrysler we knew is effectively finished, with the timeline for its disappearance being the only real question. 3. Alfa Romeo. Italian passion, American indifference. Alfa Romeo's return to the US market in 2014 was supposed to be triumphant. Instead, it's become a case study in how not to relaunch a brand in a competitive market. The numbers are almost too small to believe. Alfa Romeo sold fewer than 20,000 vehicles in the United States last year. To put that in perspective, that's less than what Tesla sells in a single week. With just 2 models, the Giulia sedan and Stelvio SUV, neither of which has received significant updates since their introduction, Alfa is struggling to remain relevant. The brand's notorious reliability issues haven't helped. Consumer Reports consistently ranks Alfa Romeo among the least reliable brands, a reputation that's particularly damaging in the luxury segment, where expectations for quality are highest. Alfa's dealer network tells the real story of a brand on life support. With just 112 dealers nationwide compared to BMW's 341 or Audi's 303, Alfa lacks the market presence to compete effectively. Many of these dealers are struggling to justify the investment in specialized tools, training, and facilities for such low sales volumes. Parent company Stellantis has already shown willingness to cut underperforming brands, having recently announced plans to discontinue the Chrysler 300. With Alfa Romeo's sales numbers failing to justify its existence in the North American market, industry insiders believe it's only a matter of time before Stellantis pulls the plug on this Italian experiment. For current Alfa owners, the warning signs are clear: diminishing dealer support, potential parts availability issues, and resale values that have already begun to collapse. One dealer I spoke with admitted they're selling new Giulias at $7,000 below invoice just to move inventory, knowing full well the negative impact this will have on used values. 4th, Mini. Not so Mini anymore. Mini's identity crisis has pushed it to the brink of extinction in the North American market. Once synonymous with compact, fun-to-drive cars, Mini has drifted far from its original appeal, with models that are larger, heavier, and more expensive than ever before. The sales numbers tell a devastating story. Mini's US presence has weakened by nearly 40% over the last 5 years. What was once a quirky alternative in the automotive landscape has become an overpriced oddity that struggles to compete with more mainstream offerings. The brand's lineup expansion has actually worked against it. Models like the Countryman and Clubman have blurred Mini's identity, while failing to capture significant market share in the crowded crossover segment. Meanwhile, the core Mini Cooper has become increasingly expensive, pushing it into a premium price bracket without the corresponding luxury credentials. Parent company BMW faces a difficult decision. Mini's electric transition has been slow and uneven, with the Cooper SE offering limited range compared to competitors. With BMW's own small SUVs often cannibalizing potential Mini sales, the business case for maintaining Mini as a separate brand becomes increasingly difficult to justify. Dealers are feeling the strain. Many Mini showrooms are struggling with stagnant inventory, unable to move cars off their lots as quickly as they once could. The excitement that once surrounded the brand has waned, and prospective buyers are hesitant to commit when other more competitive options exist. Industry analysts suggest BMW may eventually fold Mini's most successful elements into BMW's own lineup, maintaining perhaps a single Mini model as a niche offering rather than supporting a full brand with its own dealer network and development costs. 5. Nissan. The biggest fall from grace. Perhaps no brand on our list has experienced such a dramatic reversal of fortune as Nissan. Once commanding more than 8% of the US market, Nissan has seen its share plummet to barely 4% today, a catastrophic decline for a mainstream volume brand. The company's financial situation is dire. In its home country of Japan, Nissan has faced near bankruptcy, with year-over-year profit losses reaching an astonishing 99%. Attempts to merge with Honda, a move that would have been unthinkable a decade ago, fell through, exposing significant weaknesses in Nissan's financial position. Nissan's electric vehicle strategy exemplifies its broader failures. Despite pioneering the mass-market EV with the Leaf, Nissan failed to build on this early advantage. While competitors introduced compelling new electric models, Nissan stagnated, allowing its early lead to evaporate completely. The brand's dealership network is another critical problem. Nissan operates far too many dealerships for its current market position, resulting in dealers competing primarily with each other rather than with other brands. This has led to aggressive discounting that further erodes profitability and brand perception. Quality issues have compounded these problems. Nissan's CVT transmissions have become notorious for reliability problems, damaging the brand's reputation among consumers who once viewed Japanese brands as the gold standard for dependability. Industry analysts believe Nissan faces two possible futures: a dramatic restructuring that would include closing hundreds of dealerships and discontinuing multiple model lines, or a gradual retreat from the US market similar to Mitsubishi's current trajectory. Either scenario spells trouble for current owners and potential buyers alike. If you already own one of these endangered brands or are still considering purchasing one despite the warnings, specific strategies can help minimize your risk and potentially save you thousands of dollars. For current owners, the first decision is whether to sell now or hold. If your vehicle is less than 3 years old, selling sooner rather than later typically makes financial sense. The steepest appreciation occurs immediately following brand exit announcements and continues accelerating for 24 to 36 months. Waiting often means watching your asset lose value month by month. If selling isn't an option, consider purchasing an extended warranty from a reputable third-party provider, not the manufacturer. Companies like Endurance, CarShield, or CarChecks offer coverage that isn't dependent on the manufacturer's continued existence. Be sure to select plans with direct payment to repair facilities rather than reimbursement models, which can become problematic if the provider faces financial difficulties. For those still considering purchasing from these brands, the discounts must be substantial to offset the risks. Industry data suggests a minimum 25 to 30% below comparable vehicles from stable brands just to break even on total cost of ownership over a 5-year period. Use this knowledge in negotiations. Dealers of struggling brands are often desperate for sales and will accept offers they'd reject from buyers without this information. Documentation becomes critically important with endangered brands. Maintain detailed service records. Keep all warranty information and document any promises made by dealers or manufacturers in writing. This documentation can prove invaluable when seeking warranty service or making claims if the brand exits the market. Perhaps most importantly, establish a relationship with an independent mechanic familiar with your vehicle brand. As dealer networks shrink, having an alternative service option already in place can save both money and headaches. Some independent shops even purchase dealer tools and equipment when dealerships close, making them excellent resources for orphaned vehicle owners. For every endangered brand on our list, stable alternatives exist that offer similar benefits without the existential risks. Making a lateral move to these manufacturers can provide comparable vehicles while protecting your automotive investment. Instead of Mitsubishi, consider Hyundai and Kia. These Korean brands have transformed from budget options to legitimate competitors with industry-leading warranties, strong reliability ratings, and comprehensive dealer networks. The Hyundai Tucson and Kia Sportage offer everything the Mitsubishi Outlander does, with better technology and stronger manufacturer backing. For Chrysler shoppers drawn to the Pacifica, the Honda Odyssey and Toyota Sienna represent safer alternatives with superior resale value protection. The Sienna's standard hybrid powertrain actually delivers better fuel economy than the Pacifica Hybrid at a similar price point. While Honda's reputation for reliability provides peace of mind, Chrysler simply cannot match. Alfa Romeo. Buyers seeking Italian flair with more security should consider Maserati, another Italian brand, but one with stronger backing from parent Stellantis. For those primarily interested in performance rather than Italian heritage, the Genesis G70 offers comparable driving dynamics to the Giulia with the backing of Hyundai's growing luxury division. Many alternatives depend on which aspect of the brand appeals to you. For those drawn to Mini's handling dynamics, the Mazda 3 offers similar driving enjoyment with better reliability. If Mini's unique styling is the draw, the Hyundai Veloster provides distinctive design with stronger manufacturer support. Nissan shoppers have numerous stable alternatives. The Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla are natural replacements for the Sentra, while the RAV4 and CR-V offer everything the Rogue does with better resale value protection. For those considering Nissan's Z sports car, the Toyota GR86 provides similar thrills with Toyota's legendary reliability. The manufacturers with the strongest financial positions and clearest future product roadmaps include Toyota Lexus, Honda Acura, Hyundai Kia Genesis, and Ford. These companies have demonstrated both the resources and commitment to navigate the industry's transition while maintaining strong dealer networks and customer support. The 8 brands we've examined today are showing multiple warning signs that preceded every major automotive collapse of the past 2 decades. While the timeline varies for each, industry insiders believe none will exist in their current form 5 years from now. If you own one of these vehicles, the time to make decisions is now, before announcements become official and values plummet overnight. For those considering purchases from these brands, the discounts must be substantial enough to offset the significant risks to your investment.